sir, I'm gonna be your man. When I want some loving, you better not turn me down. You better get free-hearted. It's a long walk back to town. It's clouding up and it looks like rain. It might even snow. And you didn't even bring your coat, and I don't want you to catch a cold. So don't just sit there looking dumb, 'cause baby, I just found I'm getting awful low on gas, and it's a long walk back to town. Your pretty words and flirts.
Welcome into the historic Stone Castle in Bristol, Tennessee for Gridiron Game Day as the Tennessee High Vikings welcome the Abingdon Falcons, with the Vikings looking for their third straight victory on the season. Again, welcome into the Stone Castle. He's Ron Marvel. I'm Chris Mangrum. Thanks for spending your Friday evening here with us. And Ron, we got a good game tonight between Tennessee High and Abingdon, a little Tennessee versus Virginia flavor tonight. And we wanted to welcome each of you all in to the broadcast tonight, specifically those of you who were tuned in on YouTube. We are streaming all of our games live on YouTube this season at BTES Videos. So be sure to subscribe if you're there watching right now so you don't miss any of our BTES content throughout the season. Also, if those of you who are watching on Channel 7 or 207 from home or maybe online as well, we thank each of you for tuning in with us here tonight for what should be a good ball game. And Ron, with these two teams, we know that they're kind of trending in some opposite directions right now.
Yeah, for Tennessee High, you know, they kind of started off with a very tough schedule, right? You know, they played West Ridge in that monsoon game, which we were there for. They also turned around then and played a very good Elizabethan team that they almost beat. And then they almost beat a very good 6A Science Hill team. Those two games came down to the very last second. Otherwise, we're talking about a 4-1 Tennessee High game. One thing they've done recently that I really, really like, and you know I harp on this, they found balance in the last two games. That's going to serve them very well moving forward. They've got outside weapons in Price and Harkle and they need to use them. Meanwhile, for Abington, they start off the season 2-0. Play two pretty good teams in Gate City and Richlands. Now they're looking at 2-2. I guess the one thing that stands out for me for this Abington Falcons team is the last 2 weeks they've been held to under 50 yards rushing. In high school football, you've got to run the football. It's a guaranteed recipe to lose a football game if you cannot run the football. So we talked to Coach Amberger this week. He talked about we're going to have to commit. They run that inside zone. They do it pretty well when you look at them on tape. They've got to get back to running the football tonight.
Let's talk a little bit more about Tennessee High. And we know that they lost their first 3 games, but we know Tennessee High has not really been at full strength this season. They had a couple key players missing early in the season, but they've got some of those reinforcements back tonight. Elijah Plumbar, who was the underclassman of the year in the region last year, is back in the lineup. He's played 2 games, getting his feet under him. Knox Kazee, backup quarterback. We saw him rush for 2 touchdowns a week ago. Ben Stokes up on the defensive line. It just doesn't stop. Tennessee High has really been enjoying some of these reinforcements.
Yeah, and one of the things you've got to be excited about in the addition of Plumbar, as well as being just a very good tailback, Chris, is he's also a good defender out on the corner. They're getting ready to face some teams that throw the football. We know about Sevier County and how good they're on the outside. Crockett's got a receiver by the name of Jackson Overstreet. He's another good receiver. So having him back gives them some more depth, more quality in their secondary. One of the things you got to be excited about, too, is the addition of Kazee. What that does is it forces other teams to spend more time looking at different packages because he runs the Wildcat and he can throw out of it, and it's just something else to prepare for. And often it gives coaches headaches just trying to unravel all of that.
Not only that, but this Abingdon team comes in a little undermanned as they lost their starting quarterback last week, Eli Brooks, to injury. We're not quite sure who we're going to see take the first snap for Abingdon at quarterback in this game. We'll kind of find out together. For now, let's throw it over to our sideline reporter, Hope.
Thank you so much. So we also got a lot of exciting things going on the sidelines tonight and a lot of fun interviews that I'm really excited about. Coming up soon, we're going to be talking to the Bristol, Tennessee City Schools Therapy Dogs and their handlers, and then we're going to be hearing from the Tennessee High girls soccer team, and then we're going to be hearing a lot from the band and what all they've got coming up. But we're really excited. We've got a lot going on, so just stick around.
In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, where the spirit of community runs deep, Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services has been a cornerstone in our area for almost 80 years. Founded in 1945, BTES began with a simple mission: to bring reliable electricity to every home and business in Bristol. Through decades of dedication, innovation, and unwavering service, we've powered dreams and brightened lives. Today, we stand as a testament of progress, offering state-of-the-art services while honoring our rich legacy. Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services, our community's trusted resource for energy and connectivity. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
We're looking live at the Stone Castle here on this Friday night for Gridiron Game Day, as Tennessee High and Abingdon are getting set to square off at 7 o'clock for kickoff. But first, as we always do in our pregame, we love to get some interviews, and we always say that they're special guests, but today might be a little extra special. Hope, who you got with you?
So we're here with BTCS's Therapy Dogs, and this is Jingle. And here we have Ann Oakley and Kelly Vance, and they're the handlers of Jingle. So can you tell us a little bit about what Jingle is like and what her personality is like?
Well, Jingle has been a wonderful addition to Viking Academy, and Kave's been with us since about last fall, late fall. And Jingle's personality, she has a work personality and a home personality. She works hard and plays hard. And so at work, she is all about greeting every single person there and making sure that she can just be there for lots of love and pets. And at home, she's a little wild. She gets home and she likes to let loose, I will say.
Well, she's certainly very adorable, and I'm sure the kids love her as well. So what do you think that this program means for the kids and students?
It has been great. All of the kids, no matter if they're younger or older, high school kids love Jingle. They come in and they get off the bus and they pet her immediately. They just brighten up and smile when they see her, and it really helps for some of them to just kind of relieve some anxiety. And so she's great for just cheering somebody up or making them feel more comfortable. And, a dog never judges you and is never mean to you. So it's a great thing for our kids.
Yeah, no, that's definitely so amazing. And where do you see this program going in the future? Do you see more dogs being introduced, or?
For sure. I think that the goal for our system is to have a dog in every school. And so we now are on our third. We have Dolly at the high school, which is a little puppy and who just got finished with training. We have Honey at the middle school. And so to have expanded really quickly, we credit Jingle with that. We think, it's kind of like the firstborn. We did really well with Jingle, and Jingle's so successful that they just have kept rolling with it. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys both so much for coming down here and spending a little bit of time with me and sharing about the program.
Thank you.
And now we're going to... Yep.
Timeless country.
Oh, play me some mountain music.
She said, here she wants chance, fancy, don't let me down.
The good stuff that brings back so many memories. 96.3, The Possum.
And that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee.
96.3 The Possum.
Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services is your hometown provider of electric, internet, telephone, and cable television services. With our robust fiber optic network, we offer internet speeds of 10 gigabits per second to every home and business in our service area. Our mission is to enrich our community while striving to make tomorrow better than today. BTES, your trusted resource for energy and connectivity.
Welcome back to Bristol, Tennessee. We are about 30 minutes or so from kickoff here between Tennessee High and Abingdon in a battle of Tennessee versus Virginia. Second straight week that Tennessee High has faced off with a Virginia school. Last week defeating their rival Virginia High in the rekindling of the VT rivalry, a big-time dominant win for Tennessee High last week. And so now let's focus on kind of what the layout is of this Region 5 map and standings for Tennessee High. Not a whole lot of region games as of yet, Ron. There was a pretty big one. Well, it wasn't a region game last night, but we saw Sevier County in a big game last night.
Yeah, and you know, boy, what an interesting game that was. And kind of some decisions at the end of that game. If you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. That really influenced that game. I really thought Greenville had an opportunity to win that game. But boy, that's such a good Sevier County team. You cannot give them additional opportunities or they will literally just step on your throat. Hey, we've got some good games coming up on the schedule between a pretty good Crockett team and a good Morristown West team. They're going to go a long way to determine seeding. This is also the time of the year, Chris, that you start looking at Region 2 as well, because you kind of want to know if you're one of those playoff teams who you may or may not face in your future.
Some big games coming up for Tennessee High over the next couple of weeks. As they face off with Crockett here next week and then Morristown West the week after. And you're going to see why those games are important here as we take a look at our standings. As Sevier County, they were the #1 seed last year, won the state tournament championship, that is. There we go. So Sevier County, undefeated, got a win last night against Greenville, who we saw last week at Sullivan East. Tennessee High currently sitting in the #2 spot, but a lot of games left to go. And with Crockett and West coming in here the next 2 weeks, very, very much will come of that in terms of what seed Tennessee High can get. They've told us, Ron, over and over. We've said it over and over. They want a home playoff game, and for that to happen, they've got to finish in the top 2.
Yeah, and you know, the mild upset, if you will, of Crockett taking down West makes things really interesting.
Morristown West 0-4, but Coach Holt tells us they're much better than their record. They've played a very tough schedule. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll be back here on the Possum pregame show with even more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Gridiron Game Day.
Whether you're building, landscaping, renovating, refreshing, or simply researching, rent the right size tools for your size jobs. In store, online, or in app at Sunbelt Rentals, where tools rule.
The BTES Water Heater Maintenance Program is free. Join the more than 17,000 customers who participate in the program, and BTES will install a free load management device on your water heater. In exchange, participants receive free maintenance service calls. If you need a new water heater, you will receive free delivery and installation of the water heater and free emergency service calls, and your participation helps keep your electric rates low. Ready to sign up? Visit btes.net.
Welcome back inside the Stone Castle. You're starting to see some pink in the stands as it is a pink out night here at the Stone Castle. Those stands are starting to fill up. You see the mighty Viking band there getting set up, and coming up here on the field off to your left there, you see the Abingdon band, and they're right there behind us as well as they're getting ready to perform. Ron, we mentioned earlier that this Abingdon team is kind of struggling a little bit in terms of injuries. They've got a couple key players out. We know their starting quarterback, Eli Brooks, left the game last week against Richlands in a loss. We were wondering who might take the first snap at quarterback for Abingdon. We got a little bit of a peek at warm-ups, and it looks like it may be Spencer Wellenhofer.
Yeah, and you know, we want to wish Eli Brooks a quick healing there. Broke his collarbone, had 8 touchdowns in his first 3 games, so he was throwing the ball really well. Here's the thing, when you don't know who a starting quarterback is, like Tennessee High didn't until probably the same time you and I realized it, it can make preparation a little bit difficult. Now, my anticipation is Wellenhofer runs the ball a little bit better than Brooks does. By the way, as I talk about that, he also had 130 yards passing in that half he played. Now, he threw a pick towards the end of the game, but overall looked pretty good throwing the football. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tennessee High adjusts to the unknown, if you will.
Yeah, one of the things to watch in this game, Eli Brooks productive, as you mentioned, Ron. When Wellenhofer came in the game against Richlands last week, he did have some success throwing the ball through the air, but the Abingdon offense did not score a point in the second half. They did have 14 points, but they were all off kickoff returns. So the offense led by Wellenhofer still has not scored on the offensive side of the ball, and that may be a bit of a challenge for the Falcons tonight. All right, we'll take another timeout, and on the other side, we'll have some band performances coming up here. Pregame, you are here live at the Stone Castle on Gridiron Game Day. It's the Possum Pregame Show.
We use energy in powerful ways. But for our region, there's more to it than keeping the lights on. Because we're served by public power, owned by the people who live here. It's for all of us. So the initiatives we're able to support have one purpose: helping our communities thrive. We're bringing the benefits of our potential to everyone. That's community energy, and it's happening all around us. Like more job opportunities and growing neighborhoods, outdoor recreation thanks to our protected lands and waterways, supporting local education, local business, and investing in the things we care about. You see, it's about more than power. It's about how we use our energy for a better tomorrow. That's community energy. That's the power of us.
Welcome back inside the Stone Castle. You see the student section there getting prepared on this pink out night. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube, BTES Channel 7, 207, and on the BTES website as well. As we do in pregame, it's not just about the football, it is also about the environment. And we're getting ready to have a performance here from the Abingdon Falcon Marching Band.
Instructor Rob Hollow, percussion instructor Maddie Traylor. This year's student leadership includes drum majors Emma Matog, Jayla Straybeck, and Bailey Smith. Historians Jackson Frederick and Jake Harmon. Librarians Stone Alvarado and Liam Regalin. New member coordinators Ainsley Repass, Sam Rauscha, Ava Chapman, and Cooper Biscaglia. Attendance coordinators Clark Russell and Caroline Mason. Section leaders include flute section Alyssa Wilson and Casey LeMasters. Clarinets Cassidy Heath. Alto saxophones, Aiden Hall and Astrid Bockhorst. Tenor and bass saxophones, Bryson Allen. Mellophone section, Aubrey Phillips and Daniel Medeiros. Trumpet section, Spencer Beck, James Nishida, Sienna Childress, and Henry Perkins. Trombone sections, Raleigh Bockhorst and Corey Ratliff. Baritones, Evan Nowicki and Marilla Hubbard. Tuba section, Ben Campbell. Percussion captains, Kingston Hay and Liam Radford. Front ensemble, Maggie Nishida and Taylor Mamarella. Color guard captain, Abella Moore. Tonight, the band is proud to present a portion of their 2025 competition field show titled Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Musical selections include Paint It Black, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and Bad Guy, featuring the tuba section. Tonight's performance features trumpet soloist Spencer Beck, baritone soloist Marilla Hubbard, and tuba soloist Ben Campbell. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 Abingdon High School Mighty Falcon Marching Band.
All right, a fantastic performance there by the Abingdon Falcon Marching Band, as always. All right, let's dig in a little bit more onto the ball game. We got a chance earlier this week, as we do each time we come here to Tennessee High. We got a chance to talk to Coach Holt about the Virginia High game last week, a game that Tennessee High won 43-7. They've won 2 games in a row. They're looking for 3 games in a row, and he's got a unique perspective on this Abingdon Falcon team as a former coach up there at Abingdon. Here's what Coach Holt had to say earlier this week.
We just kind of knew it was coming all along, you know what I mean? We knew those guys up front had to kind of gel together a little bit, and we knew what we were getting coming back in the backfield. And really kind of the thing, I'm not saying we didn't count on it or didn't expect it, but just how well Jack's creating in the pocket, and Barron and Dane and Price and Fagans and all those guys, and Bo especially too, are finding grass, and he's making plays happen. So that's kind of what we're seeing that I'm not saying we didn't expect it, but it's just we didn't think it'd happen so soon. Practice every single day is running to the ball, and just how simple the scheme is. You know, we try to put athletic kids on the field on defense so we can run to the ball and get a bunch of white jerseys or maroon jerseys around it whenever we play. So it really just comes from practice, and if we can get lined up right, we feel pretty good about stopping just about anything we see. They're well coached. They're very well coached, and they're always going to find a way to kind of exploit you here or there. They do a lot of different formations, but they're pretty consistent with what they run out of them, which can mess you up alignment-wise. You know, they're going to be wide zone a little bit, some power, some counter, and they'll have some quarterback run game coming right at you. They're big up front. You know, most of the teams that we play are bigger than us, to be 100% honest with you, so we rely a little bit on our quickness and movements. But, you know, I know Coach Amberger well. I coached with him at Abingdon for a couple of years, and he's a great offensive mind. He's always got a great plan for us. Defensively, you know, I'm pretty familiar with those guys too up there. On the defensive side, you know, they're big up front, really big up front. They do a good job tackling. They're probably one of the more physical teams we've seen in the past few weeks. I do know they're kind of young in a few spots, but overall, you know, it's a solid defense that we've seen before out of them. We got to come out of the blocks a little bit better offensively. We've kind of been sluggish a little bit early on until we kind of see what's happening, then we take off. We got to come in ready to go and take off offensively, and really we just got to continue to run to the ball on defense. We've done a great job of that. We've had great plans going in. They're simple plans, and it allows us to adjust out if needed. But yeah, running to the ball on defense, making sure we get a quick start on offense, and then special teams wise, last week at Virginia High, their average starting position was a negative 19.7 yard line. So Dex and that kickoff team did a great job keeping them behind the 20 all night long. And if you can do that, and we're playing defense the way we are, we feel really good about that.
All right, great insights there from Coach Holt as he discussed the last game against Virginia High and what went well, and now focused on a little bit more of tonight and some of the key players that may impact this ball game between Tennessee High and Abingdon. And we'll start on the side of Abingdon as they've got Judge Dillow, who is an impact player for this team in his junior season. He has scored 9 touchdowns already this year, but he's done it in a lot of ways. 5 receiving touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, a pick 6, a kick return for a touchdown, a punt return for a touchdown. There's not too many more ways you can score.
No, and the one rush you're talking about was an 80-yard broken run that he just flashed the speed. He's a real weapon. He's one of those guys that you have got to constantly keep an eye on.
Not only that, we thought there might be a chance he might play a little quarterback in this game. That is possible. That Coach Holt alluded to the fact that he thought maybe Abingdon might just put him in at quarterback as well with some of the injuries that they've had. So we'll see how that goes tonight for Abingdon. Now, on the side for Tennessee High, we're highlighting Riley Price this week after he had a big game against Virginia High. 5 catches, 122 yards, a touchdown, and Baron Harkleroad's got over 500 yards. Tennessee High has started to see teams try to take Harkleroad away, but Price can make you pay.
Yep. You know, when you've got 2 receivers of that quality, it makes it extremely difficult because lots of times you're kind of playing on an island if you're a corner. Now, one thing we didn't mention, by the way, let's also throw music in there while we're at it because he's a weapon as well. That's why, Chris, at the pregame, I talked so much about when you've got weapons like this, I know that the physical nature of what Tennessee High does, they want to be known for running, but you've got to get these weapons involved.
Yeah, Dane Music, you see him there on your screen, number 4. He's got 10 catches himself, so that is that's 3 seniors right there in the passing game for Tennessee High that they really like in their consistency. Now, those are some of the key players. Let's talk a little bit more about keys to the game and what will decide the outcome of this one.
Well, when you look at the last 2 games that Abingdon has played, they have just been eaten up by big plays. By the way, going back and looking at them, for the Falcons, it's been big plays on 3rd down. You cannot allow that to happen. That's got to change it. By the way, you know, since you're going and we're talking about some unknowns, and Coach Everett and I talk about this a little bit, is let's throw some different looks at Tennessee High. Let's mix some stuff up. Maybe it is Dello coming in at quarterback, running some Wildcat, doing some different things. The keys for the game for Tennessee High, and I can't help but go back and look at that Elizabethan game where they just started so slow and fell down early. This is an offense that's more than capable of jumping out to early leads. One of the things that Coach Holt talked about, and I think it is key, let them start fast. I've talked about this already tonight, and that is letting this offense stay balanced. Hey, they're always going to be a running team, right? It's who they are. It's in their nature. When you think about Tennessee High, you think about that physical play, you think about running the football, but keep them balanced. They're a much more dangerous team when they are balanced offensively.
All right, you see the Vikings getting ready to do the Viking walk here shortly. We'll take another break here on the Possum pregame show, and we will be right back here from the beautiful Stone Castle here in Bristol, Tennessee.
Timeless country.
Oh, play me some mountain music. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down.
The good stuff that brings back so many memories. 96.3, The Possum.
And that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. 96.3, The Possum.
Back inside the Stone Castle here for Gridiron Game Day tonight. Thanks for tuning in to the Possum pregame show. Lovely drone shots here in the pregame show, sponsored by Daniel Parker, a proud supporter of the Tennessee High Viking program and band here at Tennessee High. We're still waiting on the Vikings to come out for the Viking walk. Currently, I think they just wrapped up. We had one of the therapy dogs in our pregame show introduced one of the dogs to you. They were introducing all 3 dogs to the entire stands here. And now we see the Viking walk beginning as the Tennessee High Vikings come down through the crowd. A smattering tonight of not only maroon, but pink as well, as we'll see here throughout the ball game. So Tennessee High coming into this one 2 wins in a row. We mentioned earlier they lost their first 3 contests. We had the game at Westridge 30-13. A loss there. They lost to Elizabethan here 26-21. Lost another tight one against Science Hill here 24-21. We had that one on Gridiron Game Day. But the fortunes have turned around for this Vikings team in the last 2 weeks. A 35-0 victory against Cocke County on the road. Then, of course, the VT win last week 43-7. They've really dominated these last 2 games, Ron. That's a combined score of 78-7, and they've only given up 7 points in their last 9 quarters defensively.
Well, now, and that's the thing that you have to understand is defense travels well. Defensively, they've just looked sharp. Hey, you know, let's be real honest, too. Maybe a little bit down from, you know, the opponents and the quality of what we saw the first year or the first month there. But I think it was so wise on Coach Holt's part to schedule a very tough schedule up front. And I think it's going to pay dividends for them moving forward.
Let's listen in to Rocky Top from the Mighty Viking Band.
Classroom learning environment. Let us remember all the brave men and women serving in our armed forces around the world. And let us remain ever vigilant against the threats to our great nation. Let us remember our local law enforcement, emergency personnel, and other citizens as they work together to protect and promote our freedoms in this community. As we practice and exercise our freedoms, let us think of freedom not as the right to do as we please, but as an opportunity to do what is right. Let us proudly display the red, white, and blue. Let us as a nation be resolved that America will always remain one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment we ask that you rise, remove your hats, and join us in honoring America in a moment of silence before the singing of our national anthem performed tonight by the Tennessee High School Choir. Now please focus on the American flag as it is presented on the field by the Tennessee High School Junior ROTC Cadet Corps, followed by the singing of the national anthem by your Tennessee High School Choir. Thank you. You may be seated. Tonight's game is...
How about that rendition of the national anthem? Thank you to the Tennessee High Choir. Great job, great arrangement. as we get prepared for the teams to get ready to come on the field here for this battle of two schools not too far away from each other, but separated by a state, with Tennessee High right on the border and Abingdon just up the way in Virginia. Abingdon coming in with a record of 2-2 on the season. Tennessee High comes in at 2-3. And we will throw it down to the field here as we get prepared for the Vikings to take the field.
Viking fans, it's time to get on your feet and make some noise. Here comes your Tennessee High Vikings.
Welcome inside the Stone Castle. It is Tennessee High and Abingdon here on Gridiron Game Day tonight. Alongside Ron Marvel, I am Chris Mangrum. Thank you also to Hope Godsey down on the sideline. We've got a fantastic ball game here tonight in one of the most beautiful and historic facilities in all of high school football, the Stone Castle here in Bristol, Tennessee. Ron, as we get prepared for this one, we've dissected this on the Possum pregame show quite a bit. Let's break this down into one thing you're looking for in this contest. Where are your eyes going to be early?
Early, I think my eyes are going to be on those weapons we've already talked about in Harkle Road and Price and Music, and to see how those corners can step up for the Abingdon Falcons. Yeah, they're sort of right now, we're getting the impression that the more that we look and kind of track this team, is it's sort of almost a mismatch, or not a mismatch, but they're sort of mix and matching around right now due to some injuries. So we'll see how that particular matchup on the outside goes tonight.
Tennessee High will get the football first. This is an offense that has scored over 30 points in its last two games, averaging 26.6 points per game on the season, and had some pretty impressive outputs against some really talented teams in Science Hill and Elizabethton. Abingdon coming into this one has lost its last two games against Gate City and against Richlands. 28-17 against Gate City, 48-24. The most recent score on the road at Richlands, and this is the third consecutive road game for Abingdon early on here in the season as they come in at 2-2. This is Mason Soline who will kick things off for Abingdon. Elijah Plumbar, Barron Harkle Road, back deep, and here we go. Short kick scooped up by Music around the 20. He's got room on the near side. And finally wrestled down just shy of midfield. That was Cole Kemper in on the tackle for Abingdon. And Tennessee High offense is heading to the field.
Yeah, we talked about getting off to a fast start. Nothing will help you get off to a fast start than a nice kick return. They're already almost at midfield right now. Let's see if they can connect this together right here, Chris.
Jack Richardson had some really good numbers last season and is ready to roll here with the first play against the Falcons. Elijah Plumbar in the game, the back to the left of Richardson. This is the first snap he's taken inside of the Stone Castle this year. Richardson going deep on the first play, and a flag's coming in.
Yep.
They were intending to find Riley Price, who we mentioned early as our player to watch in this game, and maybe an underthrow helped.
Well, and you know, that's so difficult for a corner right there because you sort of get caught up. You can't look back. The ball's underthrown. We see it in college football all the time. Just a tough play right there for the corner. But once again, good start right here as they continue this drive for the Vikings.
Pass interference on the defense, number 3, first down.
Right at Judge Dillo, as lots of interesting changes here for this Abingdon defense. Dillo, normally a linebacker, is playing cornerback in this game. We'll get to that shortly. Handoff Plumbar, breaks loose and tackled right inside the 30. Big tackle there in the secondary by Trent Dewar.
And that's one thing Coach Holt shared with us is this Plumbar just seems as though he's getting a little bit quicker and a little bit quicker each week.
Here's the starting lineup for Tennessee High. Thank you to Sunbelt Rentals, led by Jack Richardson, who's having a great season. And if we mentioned the spark that Elijah Plumbar brings that Tennessee High running game, allowing some balance. 2 H-backs, 2 wide, and a high snap. This has become a trend as this one's loose, and Plumbar is the one who falls on it right at midfield.
You know, that's a good way right there, Chris. It's a given. That's a great way to just kill a drive right there. We've known Samora has had some issues snapping during the season. We'll see what they dial up here at 3rd down and very long.
Here's the Abingdon defense on the Sunbelt Rentals starting lineup. Keep an eye on Aiden Woods, number 88. He is committed to play at North Carolina for Bill Belichick next year. That's the hoodie. Officially 3rd down and 24 on the board. Richardson looks for a screen, and it's not there as Harkle was hit right away. Had he even caught it, there was nowhere to go.
Yeah, and that was almost turned into disaster as you had that outside linebacker right there as well.
Beautiful drone shot here in Bristol tonight as the fans have lined both sides of the field to take this one in. Thank you to Danielle Parker, the proud supporter of the Tennessee High Viking program. She reminds everyone that real estate never goes out of style. Partner with her and you'll move smarter with Parker. Richardson, a nice punt as Dillo back to receive. Catches inside his own 10, and look out. He's dangerous. And it takes about 5 or 6 Vikings to tackle him right around the 15.
Good coverage downfield right there by the Vikings. Get a chance to see this defense that we've talked about quite a bit as we feel as though it's just the defense is getting better every single week.
Well, we wondered who the starting quarterback would be. We saw a little hint of it in warm-ups, and it does look like it will be Spencer Wellenhofer, the junior, wearing jersey number 2. We had a good guess, and we got it right. 1st and 10. Handoff right out of the backfield. This is Kimani Johnson, and he busts loose for a big run on the Abingdon sideline.
Yeah, we talked about Thompson, but they also have Johnson back there, and he's just another weapon. 11 runs this season for 49 yards. He just about, I guarantee that's probably his best run of the season right there.
Starting lineup for Abingdon's offense, thanks to Sunbelt Rentals. See 2 backs in the backfield, both Thompson and Johnson back there. Here's the give to Johnson, but it's quickly erased, and guess who? Preston Fagans with a TFL.
Yeah, he's got 3 of those on the season already.
Tennessee High defensive starters. You've already been introduced to Preston Fagans, but keep an eye up front. Ben Stokes has really provided quite a bit of a spark to that defensive line. 2nd and 12 for the Abingdon offense. Wellenhofer flips out to Johnson, complete, and right at the marker. And I've just got to tell you, Ron, in watching some of Abingdon's games this year, this offense looks nothing like what we've seen Abingdon run this year.
Chris, if you just watch right here, this is just a simple little wheel route out here, and he finds this little bit of a zone right here. That's all it takes.
A little bit of misdirection with the quarterback going under center. Wellenhofer hands to Johnson and contacted right away. Nice job by the Viking defense. But when we mentioned Eli Brooks in the pregame show, the quarterback for Abingdon who went down due to injury, and there was a bit of unknown of what Abingdon would do at quarterback and what kind of offense they might run. And it looks like for Coach Garrett Ambergy that it's not only that it's a new quarterback, but it might be a different offensive set. Successful start to the career for Garrett Ambergy with the most wins in school history for the Falcons. Thompson on the give and corralled by several maroon shirts. That'll make it 3rd down.
You know, one thing, Chris, that this Falcons offense is known for, it's that inside zone, and they run it pretty well. Not an extremely big offensive line, but a very athletic offensive line.
On the other side, it is Josh Holt, who's had a great start to his coaching career here, played here at Tennessee High, and actually spent a little time coaching at Abingdon with Coach Ambergy back in the day. And boy, he has a lot of respect for Ambergy. He called him one of the best offensive minds in the area. 3rd and 5. Thompson trying to get the edge, but will not get there. Riley Price, Preston Fagans, Frank Reed also in the area.
You know, Chris, I didn't realize it until I looked it up this week. Fagans runs a 40 and 4.9. That's a lot of body coming at you, man. Very athletic, moves so well horizontally on the field.
Fagans has been active in the backfield. As you see, another beautiful shot here tonight. The views here from the castle are amazing here in the building tonight. You see Judge Dillow there. He is yet to get involved on the offensive side yet, but he may here on 4th down. Wellenhofer looks to throw, and it's his big man, Aiden Woods. 1st down, Abingdon inside the red zone.
Yeah, 6'6", big target, finds that spot. You know, I think there's a really good chance when he goes to UNC, he's probably going to be an offensive lineman. But for these Falcons right now, they need his hands.
Woods started the season as an offensive lineman for Abingdon because they lost all 5 of their starting linemen from a year ago. But they realized quickly they needed his ability out in space. Not many people can move that fast at that size, and you saw it on display there. Give to Johnson, and a modest pickup on 1st down.
Boy, Swaggerty was close right there, Chris.
Interesting look here on offense for the Falcons, as Coach Holt told us, you know, a little bit of this is just the unknown of what Abingdon will do. And definitely on this first drive, I believe it has caught Tennessee High by surprise a little bit with what they're running. Another handoff to Johnson, runs forward, and I think he's got another 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal.
And boy, Chris, if you're a Falcons fan right now, you've got to be pleased with the physicality. We talked about them running the football. They're having luck right now. One young man to pay attention to is number 73. Coach Ambergy just bragged about him, just how much time he spent in the weight room and just what a worker he is.
See Jeff Taylor there, the starting left tackle for the Falcons. 1st and goal. Johnson, another handoff. And plugged up right around the 4. Abingdon trying to strike first. Coach Holt told us that they were hoping to get started fast, and this is not quite what they had in mind.
No.
As they continue to adjust a little bit to this Abingdon offense. This is Thompson on the give around the right side and into the end zone. Abingdon strikes first on a touchdown run by Tyke Thompson. Thompson with his 3rd touchdown run of the season for the Falcons, and this is a great offensive plan here for Coach Ambergy to get Abingdon on the board first.
Yeah, that 2-back set right there. 33 just comes out, kicks out that defensive end, and he just makes room for the end zone right there, Chris.
So lean on for the extra point. It is good. It lands up and over the Viking keep, and the Falcons with an early lead, 7-0. See another look at the touchdown run here as the junior running back Tyke Thompson gets the scoring started here from the Stone Castle.
For 85 years, United Southeast Federal Credit Union has proudly served our neighbors in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. We're more than a financial institution, we're part of the community. With 6 convenient branches and a team dedicated to your financial well-being, we're here to help you grow, save, and thrive. On the go, our mobile app and online banking make managing your money easy. United Southeast Federal Credit Union, helping our members live better lives.
Another great drone shot here in Bristol tonight as we're in the Stone Castle for the Vikings and the Falcons. Be sure to stick around at halftime as we've got an interview with our Burke, Powers, and Hardy Student of the Week. Of course, that coming up at halftime. We've got band performances, interviews, and more. Here, the full Gridiron Game Day experience. Abingdon leads 7-0, and the kickoff on the way, and this one
nice kick
lands in the back of the end zone. Solene's got a huge leg.
You know, he's hit already this year on a 42-yard field goal, so yes, he does have a big-time leg. And anytime you can force a team to start there at the 25, you know, it makes things a little bit tough. But, you know, Chris, I know it's early, but don't you just sense a strong urge here by this Vikings offense to come back and make a statement?
Jack's done a great job creating. That's what he does. He's a creator. He does a great job finding open grass, and the receivers do a great job catching the ball. You know, we finally got Knox back. He's kind of our power back that we put in our Wildcat formation. He's done a great job. I think he put it in the end zone twice last week, and that's going to be good. We know we always, if we got 2 quarterbacks, both are going to play it at some point in the game just because of what they're going to be asked to do if they ever do have to go in.
You know, Chris,
go ahead.
One of the things I really admire about Coach Hope is his eyes are in the present, but he's also always looking at the future. He's always building towards the future, and Cassie fits into those plans.
8-yard carry on first down for Elijah Plumbar. They'll hand it to him again. He's got the first down, but hit right away. A late flag coming in. Dylan Lee in on the tackle. To get a good look at Coach Holt there on the sideline. Let's see what the call is here.
After the run, face mask. On the defense, number 24. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well,
go ahead.
That will certainly aid the drive right there. Didn't see it on the video, but let's see if we'll go back and.
They called it on 24, so keep an eye on him.
Hard to tell.
Back underway here on first down. Richardson rolls and finds Fagans into Abingdon territory for a first down. Got a little bit of that Fagans and Woods matchup. 2 big guys. Fagans not quite as big as Woods, but a big guy who can move on the run from that tight end H-back spot.
Yeah, okay.
So first down and 10. Tennessee High's offense in a little bit of a groove here on this second drive. Richardson thinking long ball. Harkle Road hand fighting. Coach Holt wants a flag, and they will not get one.
Yeah, Oliver Summit right there, just kind of going back and forth. But you know, Chris, at the end of the day, both those players have a right to the football. I think it's a good no call.
So you could look at the ball there, but Harkle Road nearly made the adjustment, and of course he's asking for the flag there.
Good ball to throw to Harkle Road too.
2nd down and 10. It's Plumbar, and upended a few yards there on the play.
Hey, right here, Fegans just comes out and just seals this off, and you're going to see a lot of that tonight, Chris.
Third down. Richardson finds Fagans again inside the 30 and tripped up. Would have been a much bigger play. Nice tackle there from behind by Cole Camper.
Yeah, Chris, if he doesn't make that shoestring tackle right there, I think Fagans actually gets himself a score.
What's so interesting to me as you get another look here at Fagans, we've been told that Abingdon was looking quite a bit at who was going to start at corner for them. They've swapped out guys, but what they've done here is they've moved their 2 outside linebackers, Dillo and Summit, to the outside to try to contain Price and Harkle Road, as we get a whistle here and a false start, I believe.
And Chris, what we've seen.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
And Chris, one thing we've seen, and I think it's going to be open tonight, and that's with the attention to the outside, the middle of the field is going to be open tonight.
I think that's the adjustment you're seeing here for Tennessee High. Is I think you saw it on the first play. Yep. They took a shot deep on the corners, and I think they've realized the defensive adjustment that Abingdon has made and decided to attack a little bit more in the middle. Plumbar inside the 20.
Chris, I'm going to tell you, they couldn't have ran that any better. I'm going to tell you why, because Aiden Woods just dropped off the field, just sort of walked off the field, and where he was is exactly where they ran.
There's Plumbar coming into your living room. Big hit there. It's Daniel Blackman on the tackle. 2nd and 7. Richardson hits Harkle Road, still on his feet. And inside the 5.
Boy, we talk about just the skills and the athlete that Harkle Road has. He's a little bit slow to get up there. But boy, just a physical presence to get yourself in front of the corner right there.
He gets walloped here by about 3 white helmets. That's Summit all over him, and then boom, a meeting right there.
Yeah, to fight through that contact, Chris, is not an easy thing.
He does set up 1st and goal, and here is Knox Kazee in at quarterback with Cooper Boer to his right. Another high snap. That's 2 of them. The first one ended their first drive. This one not quite as far. But even going back to the Virginia High game last week, there was a high snap over the head of Richardson, and Kazee just couldn't corral it.
And I think, unfortunately, they go back and watch game film, they're going to find out that play was actually blocked pretty well.
Kazee did not play in any of the first 3 games, make it 4 games for Tennessee High this year. Did play last week against Virginia High as a 2nd quarterback and scored twice. Richardson on the roll. He'll look to take off, and nothing there.
You know, Chris, I'm not so sure that wasn't meant to be a little dump off to Fagans, but Fagans just never got the separation.
Looked like Abingdon had it covered pretty well.
Yeah.
So this is 3rd and goal. The ball sits at the 14-yard line. Now, to my understanding, I don't believe Dexter Dishner has kicked a field goal yet this season. He's
15 for 17 on PATs, yeah.
So he's done a nice job putting it through the uprights as you get another gorgeous look at the views here from the Stone Castle. We'll take a break and have a big 3rd down play coming up.
Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services is your hometown provider of electric, internet, telephone, and cable television services. With our robust fiber optic network, we offer internet speeds of 10 gigabits per second to every home and business in our service area. Our mission is to enrich our community while striving to make tomorrow better than today. BTES, your trusted resource for energy and connectivity.
Hey, coming up in the fourth quarter, the Eddie's Trophies Player of the Game. Our Player of the Game last week was #1 Blue Prophet from Sullivan East. So stay tuned as we'll announce that Player of the Game. Peyton Lingerfelt. Sorry about that.
Peyton had a good game there against Greenville. Tough, always a tough team to play, but Peyton had a nice game, especially running the ball there along the outside. Third and goal from the 14. Pitch Plumbar. Looking for room, and he's got nowhere to go. An excellent tackle in the backfield by Cole Camper. That sets up 4th down from the 15. And again, we're not quite sure what the range is for Dexter Dishner. I'm looking for number 12 on the sideline. I see him down there, and he is not coming on the field. So it looks as if Tennessee High is going to go for this.
About a 32-yarder from here, so he's made that distance before, but we'll see. Pretty aggressive call right here, Chris.
Yep, 2 backs. Carter Smith to the left of Richardson as he sends Plumbar in motion. Handoff Harkle around the edge. Harkle to the pylon and in. A creative call on 4th and goal, and Harkle pays it off. Misdirection there as Baron Harkle gets the score for the Vikings. And quickly on the ball here, it looks like Tennessee High may go for 2. Here's a snap to Richardson. Throw is knocked away. It's Griffin King who was able to knock the pass away. So not only did Tennessee High not kick the field goal, they opted not to kick the extra point, and they trail by 1 after the failed conversion.
Chris, one thing I really like that they did right there, and yes, exactly, that fake to Price all the way here on the far side of the field. The defense shifts their eyes to him in anticipation, and it opens up the boundary. Good play call right there by the Vikings coaching staff.
All right, Tennessee High gets on the board. Met's Culinary Management is a proud supporter of the entire Bristol community. We're dedicated to fueling the next generation of leaders, including the Tornado athletes at King University, with fresh, performance-ready meals. In the Bristol community, we take care of our own. Met's Culinary Management is honored to be your local partner. Find out more at metsking.com. That's METZKING.com. So after we saw Abingdon get on the board first, an excellent response by Tennessee High to get in the end zone, especially on that 4th down play. But they do trail by 1 after the failed 2-point try. Dishner on to kick it off. He is healthy as we have a flag here. This is right around the 40-yard line, which means somebody got a head start.
Chris, I'll give you a bit of a shocker right now. Jeff County has jumped out in front of Science Hill 14-0.
That is, that's an eyebrow raiser. One of the scores we'll be keeping a really close eye on tonight features one of our other Gridiron Game Day teams. That's Westridge. They're facing off with Dobbins Bennett tonight. Still scoreless early in the first quarter.
3-0 right now.
Oh, an update.
Yes. Dobbins Bennett just scored the first points of the game, so 3-0 in the second quarter.
Dishner tries again. Dillo back, and this one rolls out of bounds, so the extra 5 yards maybe causing a little issue there, and Abingdon will get great field position to start this drive. So as Abingdon gets the offense back on the field, we saw them. Okay. Wow.
Interesting call.
So Abingdon wants another shot for Judge Dillow here. We mentioned Judge Dillow as our player to watch. He's already run one kick back for a touchdown this year, and I think they want to give him another try at it. Not only that, but Oliver Summit, who's the other kick returner, number 18, he ran a kick back last week as well.
Yeah, you have to be aware of that as you're the Vikings. A little bit surprised by that call, but we'll see. You know, Dishner's got a big leg. Ranked number 8 right now in Cole's kicking. He's really worked hard on his game.
This one angling again towards the out-of-bounds line, but Dillow catches it inside the 19. Spin move for Dillow. And what a tackle over here on the near sideline. That's Swaggerty.
Yeah, that looked a little, your eyes started to pop when he made that spin move. You saw that lane open up, but good open field tackle right there by Swaggerty.
So it does pay off for Tennessee High, as Abingdon would have had it a little further up the field there had they just taken the penalty, but probably worth it in their mind to give Dillow a shot to break one. So all eyes are on this Abingdon offense and what the Tennessee High defense will do to adjust. As we mentioned, this is a much different looking Abingdon offense than we have seen so far this season, mostly due to them losing their quarterback Eli Brooks last week. Handoff Thompson. Bounces left. Fagan's trying to ride him down and finally does, but it's a really good pickup on first.
Yeah, they're going to take that all day long. It's going to bring up second down and mid. And that's one thing that we've seen right now out of this Vikings team, just a bit of a struggle trying to keep this team behind the chains.
And look at the run there as Utzman was the first to make contact with Thompson, one of the two backs that you'll pretty much see for Abingdon. It's Thompson and Johnson. They're lined up in the backfield together. Wellenhofer, quick screen, Summit. Did he catch it? And after some conversation, incomplete is the ruling.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Chris, is Stevens is getting double teamed. Oh, what is 158 pounds of him is getting double teamed. That kid's such a little terrier, man. I'm telling you. Not quite the size of a pit bull, but dude is just... I think I saw something this week where he puts up 315 pounds on the bench. I mean, what a tough kid he is, man.
In talking with some of the visiting coaches throughout the season, a lot of them have mentioned his name. Handoff on third down, near the first down marker, and an extra effort there by Kamani Johnson gives the Falcons a first.
Let's see the guard out there pull and create some room as they're able to pick up that first down.
Coach Holt told us that Coach Amberger would have an excellent plan on offense, and that has been the case so far. Two receivers for Wellenhofer under center. Another give to Johnson. Bounces off a few Vikings and picks up some more.
One of the tendencies I'm seeing right now out of this Falcons team is just at the end of every run, they're just getting that lean, Chris. They're picking up an additional yard or two every single time. You feel like the Vikings got them stuck, but they just keep pushing.
You know, you can't always count on the transitive property in high school football. We know Tennessee High beat Virginia High last week pretty handily. Well, Virginia High beat Richlands early on in the season, and Richlands just handed Abingdon a huge loss last week. But this does not look like the same Abingdon team from last week as Thompson breaks loose into the secondary. The running game is working for Abingdon. They had one rushing yard last week against Richlands.
You know, this is just a statement right now by these Falcons. Just, hey, this is going to be a ball game tonight. We're going to come out here and we're going to punch you in the mouth. You can punch us back, but we're going to keep punching.
See the Falcons fired up, and rightfully so. This feels a little bit like a response to how things have gone the last 2 weeks for Abingdon. 1st and 10. Thompson hit right away, and it's Khalil Honaker who holds on.
Great tackle right there by Honaker as he's able to drag him down.
See Honaker get right in there.
Yeah, I think he beat Blackman there. Just able to get in the gap and just shoot through.
Haven't seen a whole lot of negative plays out of this Falcon offense. Thompson left side. Missed tackle in the backfield. But a few Vikings there to clean it up, making it 3rd and medium.
Yeah, it was Stevens right there on that miss. And the Vikings have been that close on several of these running plays. They just seem a step behind right now.
Now Fagan's lost his helmet there, so he'll have to come out for a play. And so Tennessee High will have to make a change, and that is Alex Carey, who's wearing 13 again. It kind of threw me for a loop there. We've been used to him at 51. Well, now he's back in the 13 jersey.
Yeah, played some right tackle when Lomans was out at the beginning of the year. So yeah, that looks more like a typical number you'd see on his back.
Big 3rd down here, and no Fagans on the field for the Vikings. And a great job, Alex Carey. We just said his name, and he goes in the backfield and picks up a big tackle.
There's a flag down on the field as well, Chris.
Sideline warning.
And you know, Chris, when we started talking to Coach Holt about Carey and playing on the line and being undersized, the one word that he said over and over again in regards to Carey is that kid's just tough. Doesn't back down.
I thought you were going to say crazy.
He did say that word too, yeah.
They call him Crazy Carey, so Crazy Carey with a tackle there. And here's 4th down in a big spot here early in the ball game. 4th down and 6. And Abingdon looking like they might go for this, although the play clock winding down, and they're going to have a chance to talk about it. And with a timeout, Coach Amberg, he's going to take a second and try to draw something up here. All right, so we will take a break, and when we come back, we'll have a big 4th down play with the Abingdon offense on the field.
For 85 years, United Southeast Federal Credit Union has proudly served our neighbors in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. We're more than a financial institution, we're part of the community. With 6 convenient branches and a team dedicated to your financial well-being, we're here to help you grow, save, and thrive. On the go, our mobile app and online banking make managing your money easy. United Southeast Federal Credit Union, helping our members live better lives.
42 years of tradition, league competition, and unforgettable moments. That's the classic at Tennessee High School. Viking Hall, the nation's premier basketball tournament. Top-ranked teams and ESPN Top 100 players will be in Bristol December 26th through 31st, 2025, later this year at the Viking Hall. So be sure to tune in and join us for that tournament coming up in December. Here's the 4th down play after the timeout. Wellenhofer looks to throw. Puts it in the air to Dillo. He's got the catch. It's right at the 30. That's the line they needed, and this may depend on the spot. And they gave it to him right away.
Yeah, I always say that, Chris. If you look at the left foot of the official, and this far official came over here and spotted it with his foot, and probably by about 18 inches, they had it first.
He had it. I think the spot might have been a little short of what he actually had. But credit to Coach Amberg for going to his best player on a big 4th down play. 1st and 10. Johnson on the handoff with room. And Dane Music comes in from his safety spot to clean it up, but not before a 6-yard gain.
You know, Chris, what's sort of going through my mind right now is I wonder how many times this Tennessee High team has seen a quarterback under center.
It puts me in mind of Westridge.
Yes, it does.
And doesn't it seem like something that that Abingdon would do is look back at that Westridge film, see how Tennessee High struggled a little bit, and move to that. Because Tennessee High did struggle a little bit with that early in the season. All right, next week we are right back here inside the Stone Castle for a huge region game between Tennessee High and David Crockett. As Tennessee High, we've told you on and off throughout the season, they're trying to host a home playoff game. That game next week will be crucial in determining if they can do that, with Crockett next week and Morristown West the following week.
You know, Chris, let me just add to that. This is a Crockett team that seems like it's just improving year after year. They're one of those schools that sometimes has to cycle through youth. I think the Falcons are doing that a little bit right now. So excited for that matchup next week.
All things considered, as we just saw Kamani Johnson go off the field, he was the injured player there during that stoppage. But all things considered, if you're Abingdon right now, you're leading this ball game, kind of winding down towards halftime here in what has been a quick moving first half. And they've been moving the ball well and maybe trying to get a second score here. Knocking on the door. Hand off Thompson. He's got room. Slips a few tackles and near the marker.
That's inside zone right there. You just kind of come out there towards the tackle. You kind of bust it open. You see where it's at. Thompson just follows his blocks and able to get good yardage right there.
Another look.
Boy, Woods just sets a big edge, doesn't he?
I don't want to be behind 88, or in front of 88, I should say, with the blocking coming at you. Again, as we said earlier, he's headed to Chapel Hill next year to play college football. 3rd down and 2. Thompson. Excuse me, that is Johnson, who's back in the game, and he's got a 1st down. And Abingdon, right now, they're picking up 3 or 4 at a time if they want it.
Isaac Stevens coming there from the nose all the way over to make that tackle. But boy, this Falcons team, compared to how I saw them last week, they just look a step quicker.
I have to wonder if a lot of this for Tennessee High is not necessarily preparing for this style of offense. Coach Holt told us he didn't really know what to expect with that quarterback getting hurt last week for Eli Brooks. This is certainly different.
Everything's a step quicker, Chris.
Mullenhofer, oh, what a hit in the backfield. That's Isaac Stevens. We've highlighted him already tonight, and he broke right through the line.
And I believe Willenhofer got his foot stepped on by his center there, who's Bailey, and that just sort of doomed that play. Now let's see. We talked about being behind the chains. Here they are, 2nd down and about 15. Well, more than that.
Looking at 2nd and 14.
14, okay. Let's see if we can prevent a big chunk of yards right here as the Vikings go.
Here's a pass. Wellenhofer looks, flips, and incomplete, trying to hit Johnson there. And I think what you saw there is Abingdon doesn't really want to put it in the air with their current quarterback situation.
Yeah, you know, very good coverage right there by Cooper Boer, the outside linebacker. Does exactly what he should. There's no room there to complete that pass.
Boer, very intelligent. He was a menace last week against Virginia High with 3 tackles for loss. He even had a safety.
Yes, that safety from that game kind of flipped that game.
Only points in that first quarter. It's 2-0. Thought we were looking at a baseball score there last week.
And here's Pistol on a bad snap on top of that.
Flipped out. Ooh, nearly intercepted by Boer. The target was Isaiah Draper, and it seems as if the key for Tennessee High's defense is to force Abingdon into passing situations.
Yep.
Now, you wouldn't have said that last week because Eli Brooks has been so good for them, but obviously it's tough that he's missing the rest of the season.
We've talked about Mason Solon already. He's had a 42-yarder. This one, if you're keeping count, I'm trying to do the math in my head. 39. I was getting ready to say 40. Yep.
On the way. Short, I believe. Wow. So a hold for the Tennessee High defense. We know Solin's got a huge leg. He must have just mishit that one.
Yeah, it just didn't look like it was struck very well. You know, we've also seen some bad snaps tonight that have just sort of stopped some drives. There were 2 right there.
All right, coming up at halftime, the mighty Viking Band. The dance team performs. Hope has a conversation with the Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week. And don't miss the Classic Teams Reveal. He's already mentioned the Classic Basketball Tournament coming up after Christmas, a holiday tradition. We'll have a reveal of the teams in the tournament coming up at halftime. Richardson and the Viking offense on the move. Throws across his body. Dane Music.
Is it complete?
They'll say it is.
Great adjustment right there by Music as he just...
Wait, now they're walking it back.
Oh. Regardless, great adjustment by Music right there as he almost comes up with that one. Sort of silhouettes the quarterback, Richardson, right here. Yeah, and that ball does hit the ground.
Nice acting job, though, by Music to sell it. 2nd and 10. Another mishandled snap, and Richardson, that's 3 times already, Ron, in this first half.
Yeah, Chris, and that's not on the center that time. That's clearly on Richardson.
And you saw him touching his chest right away. Yep. He said that was me. One thing we've seen consistently, though, this season is that the snaps have been up. Not that he should have caught it, but they've been high a lot this year.
And the problem with those high snaps, Chris, is it gets an offense out of rhythm.
Beautiful shot of Bristol here on this 3rd down play. Richardson looks downfield. Riley Price is open, and he just can't get there.
Well, Chris, one of the messages going in the locker room for this Vikings team is going to be missed opportunities.
I think Tennessee High is kind of kicking themselves right now. They haven't looked sharp. I think last week against Virginia High, they were almost clicking on all cylinders. One thing we didn't really talk about is could this potentially be a letdown spot after such an emotional rivalry win last week?
Yeah, now the Falcons are going to get the ball back in pretty good field position. Let's see what this kick does here. Good roll.
Surprising that Dillo didn't pick it up. And it will be downed finally at the 33.
And I was just on the verge of saying the Falcons are probably going to get this ball at midfield. Good kick right there. Kind of flips the field, and they needed that too with 2 minutes on the clock.
Sun setting here in Bristol tonight as you are high above the field here at the Stone Castle.
Now, Chris, you talked about it just a moment ago. This seems like a situation where the Falcons are going to have to throw the ball some.
Willenhofer is under center. Handoff on the first play. Thompson and lots of maroon shirts. Does Coach Holt want to stop the clock here? Not yet. He only has
2.
So
yes,
if they get another negative situation here, we might see them stop it as you get another look. And that's Ben Stokes with the first contact. We've talked about the impact he's had on this defensive line.
And Chris, remind me, who got the ball first? I'm trying to rattle that off in my head.
I believe it was Tennessee High, as we've got a stoppage. Yeah, Tennessee High got it first.
Okay.
So.
Timeout. I know you and I have talked about that, sort of that double score, but that's going to take that off the table if the Vikings can get this ball back.
Hey, how about some other scores, Ron? Jefferson County up 21-0 on Science Hill. Here's an interesting one. Gates City leads Crockett 21-0. That's who we'll see here next week as Crockett comes into town. Dobbins Bennett leading Westridge 10-7 at last count. Sullivan Easton actually action tonight as well against Granger, but we do not have a score update. 8-0 Granger is the last score I've seen there. So that's an update on a few of our Gridiron Game Day teams and how they're doing tonight.
And boy, how big would it be? I mean, volumes. 10-7 game right now if West Ridge was to pick up a win over Dobbins Bennett.
Not only that, but what happens if Science Hill goes down to Jeff County?
Oh, what a jumbled mess we have then.
Very much so. 2nd and long. Handoff. Thompson breaks loose. Hit by Harkleroad around the 35 and wrestled down. This is going to make it about 3rd and 7. And I'm not so sure Coach Holt will use a timeout this time.
Hey, just watch Thompson out here, just so patient as he comes out here, bounces for a moment, and just holds it and waits for that space to open up. You see right here, Chris, just that little pause.
Just stretch it out.
Right here. Almost like a little stutter step right there.
Clock winding here with under 40 seconds to go, and it may be Abingdon who's going to call a timeout here as Coach Ambergy has cornered the side official.
Chris, are you surprised there's not a little bit more of a sense of urgency out of these Falcons right here?
To be honest with you, not really, because I think Abingdon is going to be pleased to take a lead to the half. You know, when we talked with Coach Ambergy this week, he said he wanted this to be a game in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
And what happened last night? Go back to Sevier County in Greenville. We were watching that game last night. Greenville was up, you'll have to remind me, 14-7, and they were going to kick a field goal to go up 17-7. There was a delay of game which pushed it back 5 yards. Sevier County blocks the kick, runs it back, 14-14 tie at halftime.
And doesn't that block affect some things later on in the script
yes.
for the Green Devils?
Yes. Yep. I think Greenville fans think they missed an opportunity last night against the defending 5A state champions. So 26 seconds to go. Tennessee High does have a timeout. I would think if Abingdon does not pick this up, Tennessee High might burn the timeout and try to do something. Handoff Thompson left side. Tackled shy of the marker. And no timeout here. I think both sides are content to let this one roll to the half.
Chris, I've got to share with you. I'm not too crazy about just how passive the Falcons have been here. I mean, I get it, right? You're up, and that's good.
They seem pretty pleased with their first half, at least with the lead. This was a game that many expected Tennessee High to maybe run away with. But Abingdon has a 1-point lead in a low-scoring rock fight of a ball game here from the Stone Castle here tonight. Don't go anywhere. We've got more programming coming up at halftime here on Gridiron Game Day.
You may know BTES's employees from here and here, but we are also here and there and also over there. We are your neighbors, your friends, your community, and your trusted resource for energy and connectivity. We are BTES.
Welcome back to the Stone Castle. We are here at halftime as Abingdon leads Tennessee High 7-6 in a bit of a surprising score. Not only the fact that Abingdon is out on top here, but also a bit of a low-scoring game between these two teams, as neither team has been able to get it in the end zone multiple times. Abingdon scores first. Tennessee High scores on a 4th down play. Baron Harkleroad on a run to the end zone to make it a 7-6 game. The 2-point try was no good. So that is where we stand at the moment. And currently the field is being transformed for the Mighty Viking Band to perform their halftime show here in front of a pretty good crowd here tonight, as lots of fans in maroon and pink here below us, but also good crowd that made the trip from Abingdon as well. We saw the Abingdon band perform pregame, and now they will yield to the homestanding Vikings as they get set up for their halftime performance here tonight at the Stone Castle.
The Mighty Viking Band. They will be performing their competition show titled Steeped in Madness. Song selections include Mad World, Toxicity, Waltz Number 2, and Hand Me My Shovel. Soloists are Shelby Venning and Jackson Lemons. The Mighty Viking Band is under field direction of Drum Major Atresia Cadilla and co-drum major Piper Chapman. Brass captain is Luke Kicks. Woodwind captain is Shelby Venning. Percussion captain is Maddie Davis. Color guard captains are J.C. McMurray, Jackson Lemons, and Christian Davis. Band staff includes Director Kerry Mitchell, Assistant Director Spencer Fish, Assistant Director Michael King. Color guard instructors are Taylor Duncan and Jocelyn Wallen. Brass instructor Wesley McGrew. Woodwind instructor Braden Gillum. Drum major and visual instructor Ashley Kappelman. Drum major, is your band ready? You may take the field.
Welcome back to Gridiron Game Day at BTES Power 7. We just had an amazing performance from the THS Viking Band, and we're getting ready to see the Viking dance team, the Vikettes, and so stay tuned for that. We're excited.
For halftime entertainment, the Viking dance team.
Let's go, girls. Come on. I'm going out tonight. I'm feeling alright. Gonna let it all hang out. Wanna make some noise. Really raise my voice. Yeah, I wanna scream and shout. The best thing about being a woman is the prerogative to have a little money. Oh, 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 they're totally crazy. Fucking on a lady. Men in short skirts. Oh, 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 feeling a while, yeah, doing it in style. Oh, 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 get in the action, feel the attraction. Color my head, do what I dare. Oh, 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 I wanna be free, yeah, to feel the way I feel. Man, I feel like a woman. The best thing about being a woman is the prerogative to have a little fun, fun, fun. Oh, 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 they're totally crazy. Fucking on a lady. Men in short skirts. Oh, 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 feeling a while, yeah, doing it in style. Oh, 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 get in the action, feel the attraction. Color my head, do what I dare. Oh, 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 I wanna be free, yeah, to feel the way I feel. Man, I feel like a woman.
Let's hear it for the Lady Viking dance team.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce the participating teams in the 2025 Classic at Tennessee High School. First up, from Knoxville, Tennessee, the Bearden High School Bulldogs. From Arlington, Virginia, the Bishop O'Connell High School Knights. From Shreveport, Louisiana, the Calvary Baptist Academy Cavaliers. From Decatur, Georgia, the Columbia High School Eagles. From Kingsport, Tennessee, the Dobbins-Bennett High School Indians. From Elizabethton, Tennessee, the Elizabethton High School Cyclones. From Louisville, Kentucky, the Fairdale High School Bulldogs. From Greenville, Tennessee, the Greenville High School Green Devils. From Huntersville, North Carolina, the North Mecklenburg High School Vikings. From Orlando, Florida, the Olympia High School Titans. From Essex, Maryland, the Our Lady of Mount Carmel School Cougars. From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the St. Thomas Aquinas High School Raiders. From Brooklyn, New York, the Thomas Jefferson Campus Orange Wave. From Irwin, Tennessee, the Unicoi County High School Blue Devils. From Johnson City, Tennessee, the University School Buccaneers. From Baxter, Tennessee, the Upperman High School Bees. From Knoxville, Tennessee, the Webb School of Knoxville Spartans. And last but not least, from Bristol, Tennessee, your Tennessee High School Vikings. For over 4 decades, the Classic has been the place to see elite holiday hoops. be part of the tradition when the 2025 Classic tips off December 26th at Viking Hall in Bristol, Tennessee.
Another exciting year of the Classic. You just saw the teams revealed on that video, and we have the pleasure of speaking with the tournament director, Richard Enzer, who's been at this for quite some time. Mr. Enzer, tell us about your role with the tournament.
Well, I'm in charge of getting all the teams here. I'm in charge of getting their hotel rooms, meals, and in charge of practice and any other thing that they have problems with.
Always some exciting teams that are coming out. We've always seen some exciting players and teams as well. Who are some of the teams we might should keep an eye on in this tournament?
You should keep an eye on Webb out of Knoxville because they're pre-seeded ranked 13th in the nation, and they've got 4 of their 5 starters back from last year, plus I heard they picked up an all-state guard. Then St. Thomas Aquinas out of Fort Lauderdale, they have 5 out of 6 of their players back, and they were state champions last year. So we got 5 state champions and 3 teams that were runner-up.
I know you also, you do a lot of the logistics of the tournament. What is your favorite part of the tournament?
Getting teams. I enjoy doing that.
Making all the calls and...
Making all the calls and connections with them, you know, and just keeping up with them during the season, you know, before they get here.
Well, that is Coach Richard Enzer, the tournament director for the Classic. Be sure to stay tuned to the Tennessee High social media for how to get tickets to that Holiday Classic tournament. Thanks again, Coach Enzer, for being here. Really appreciate you, as always. And we will be right back right after this.
And we're back right now. I was waiting for my partner to make his way back up here. 7-6 game right there. I'll share with you that Abington actually outgained the Vikings 138-61. With some of the negative plays, just 9 yards of rushing as we're getting ready to kick off this second half right here as Dishner sports as well as being a good kicker, also sports a 3.92 GPA. Kicks that one out of bounds, and let's see where these Falcons are going to take over at. This one time before, we've seen him, I don't know that we're doing it again. Maybe we're kicking again right here.
Kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Yep, that's what they are doing. Coach Enberg, he just likes putting pressure on opposing kickers, obviously. Dishner will get another opportunity, and probably for Dishner, all things considered, he might welcome the opportunity because that wasn't one of his best kicks. Back deep, always dangerous. We saw in the first half, Judge Dillo waiting that kick. May be a good opportunity to get some air under this football. A little bit better kick. Pretty good placement right there, and we'll see how this Viking team closes it down. Dillo just trucks over number 7 for the Vikings right there. He's Swaggerty. And so the Falcons right here, as they get the ball, are going to be taking over. Swaggerty got popped, but popped right back up himself. And my partner's back up here, the Mr. And we talk about just how versatile Dillo is. You're on the sidelines, you know, pulling that, doing play-by-play. He's out of breath, but he's ready to take back over.
Heavy breathing, heavy breathing. All right, Abingdon with the football to start the third quarter. Thompson with a nice run.
Chris, they're going to have to create some pressure, the Vikings, in their gap control right here. I mean, they're going to fire up the gaps. The defensive ends are going to have to be patient here in the second half to contain this running game of the Falcons.
I was kind of wondering, Ron, if we would see Abingdon kind of change up the offense, but it looks to be the same that we've seen from that first half. Give to Johnson, and this Tamanis pickup setting up 3rd and 5.
Chris, you saw it the same way that I did. Coach Holt pulled his team, didn't even let him get in the locker room, pulled him over to the sideline. And 90% of the time when you see that, typically there's a butt chewing coming with that alignment.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I saw we were here for Tennessee High and Science Hill, and they kind of gathered up there with the lead. This time, of course, they're trailing heading into the third quarter. Wellenhofer looks to throw, and just a bit too tall for Kamani Johnson.
And that's a pretty good break right there, because Johnson had some room in front of him. He was able to get out that little speed route out there, and that's a pretty good break right there for the Vikings.
See another look at it here. Wellenhofer has not put it in the air very much tonight. Much more of a, you call him maybe a game manager type quarterback.
Chris, one of the biggest adjustments this Viking team is going to have to make is flush that first half. They played about as badly as they could have, and you're still down by just 1 point. I'll tell you the other thing defensively, Chris, I'd like to see right here in this second half out of these Vikings. Let's see if we can't come up with a couple stunts. Let's see if we can't confuse that inexperienced quarterback that we have back there.
Peyton Molinari on to punt for Abingdon for the first time. And a driving kick is going to bounce out of bounds and flip the field. The Vikings will start just inside their own 30.
We saw a kick last night that just about put that game in the favor of the Green Devils. That ball jumped up in the air. If you know the play I'm talking about, Chris, jumped up in the air about 15 yards and just headed backwards. It looked like that one was going to do it for a moment, but it made its way out of bounds.
So we get a chance to see the Tennessee High offense for the first time in this second half. They've not led at all in this ball game. And they give to Plumbar on first down. He makes a move, breaks the tackle. Plumbar into Abingdon territory. The ball on the ground. A fight for it, but an offensive lineman down the field. That is Erasmo Cobian who jumps on it.
Yeah, and you know, when they go to look at film, somebody needs to pat that young man on the back, because that was near disaster after that big run by Plumbar. We talked about it. Plumbar just looks like he's getting a little bit quicker with every handoff.
Man, that's a helmet sticker if I've ever seen one right there for Cobian.
Good job by Blackman right there, poking that paw in there to break it up.
Richardson looking for Harkleroad. He's down there, but nowhere to go. Richardson uses his legs. What a move. Inside the 30. And a big hit by Judge Dillo. But a nice job creating with his legs. Coach Holt told us this week he loves the way that Richardson does that.
And we go back to that replay. Boy, Aiden Woods is going to be going, what do I have to do to bring him down?
It's a D1 player you're trying to avoid there. How about a good pickup block right there, too? Good pop there from Dillo. But it is a first down for the Vikings, who go 4 wide. Plumbar. A few. Give him 4.
Dax Bailey right there able to kind of shut that down. A pretty good second half Vikings team throughout these 5 games. Let's see if that trend continues, Chris.
Give Plumbar, breaks loose, and he trips up just inside the 15.
Tell us.
Hey, I'll tell you what, that turf's a little slick out there. I kind of slipped on my way back up.
Little kick out block right here by Feekins, and it sets the edge. Just watch that play unravel. There to that block right there by Feegans, and it sets great block. Oh, what a block by Feegans.
Like he might have tripped up on the leg of Price there on the block. First down. It's another give. Plumbar, hard to tackle. And it takes about 3 Falcons to throw him backwards.
Looks like he's going to come out for a breather. Stalnaker comes in relief. Stalnaker this year, 33 carries for 159 yards.
We haven't really seen Plumbar come off the field. So still just his 3rd game back from injury. Play fake to Stallnaker.
Wants
Richardson
Price.
jump throw. Fagans in the end zone. A big man touchdown for the Vikings.
And have yourself a night, Mr. Fagans. Just a little crow right there as all the attention goes to Price, and Fagans is able to make that reception. Tone setter here for the Vikings.
Extra point, no good. Was that blocked, Ron?
No, if that was blocked, if we just mishit it, we'd go back to that replay and see if we can see that right there, Chris.
All right, we will take a timeout, and we'll be right back here at the Stone Castle. The Vikings on top.
For 85 years, United Southeast Federal Credit Union has proudly served our neighbors in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. We're more than a financial institution, we're part of the community. With 6 convenient branches and a team dedicated to your financial well-being, we're here to help you grow, save, and thrive. On the go, our mobile app and online banking make managing your money easy. United Southeast Federal Credit Union, helping our members live better lives.
Welcome back to the Stone Castle. The Vikings on top of Abingdon, 12-7 after the touchdown catch by Preston Fagans. How we doing? In the booth here. Thanks for tuning in as Dishner sends it down the field. Dillo on the move across the 20 and tackle just shy of the 25.
And they've done a good job containing him tonight. I don't know how smart it is to keep kicking to him, Chris, but pretty good job on coverage.
As we mentioned in the pregame for Judge Dillo, a big-time threat for Abingdon. He has 9 touchdowns on the season, 5 receiving, 1 rushing, 1 pick six, 1 kick return for a touchdown, and 1 punt return for a touchdown. He has not been able to break free in this game as of yet. Handoff Thompson. He's bounced off several Vikings in this game. He is tough to bring down.
Well, I'm telling you, Stevens is getting closer and closer to shooting that gap and getting his hand on the quarterback. I'm telling you, it's coming.
Vikings were able to stop Abingdon on their first drive and get the ball back. And as we've seen, some of the success for Tennessee High in this game has been when they've been able to force Abingdon to throw the football rather than keep it on the ground. Here is a throw. Is that a fumble or no? Incomplete. That one looked pretty close to a parallel pass there.
Chris, I'll give you a score. Sullivan East right now, and I believe that game's gone to the half, is up on Granger 15-8.
Okay. Sullivan East looking for their first win of the season.
Jeff County, by the way, 31, Science Hill, nothing.
That is a shocker.
Yep.
That is a shocker right there.
DB 17, West Ridge 7.
3rd down and 9. And wrestled down, just nowhere to go in the backfield. That's Johnson on the carry, but met right away.
Chris, that's almost like a delayed blitz. I talked about that just a moment ago, and I think that's the type of anticipation these Vikings are going to have to show on this Falcons running game.
So 4th down, punt coming here for Abingdon. Just a programming note, we did not get to the Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week at halftime. We will have that coming up after the game, so be sure to stay tuned for some after the game programming. Molinari on to punt. Low line drive caught by Utzman. And nice job by the Falcons to keep him corralled to the far sideline. But Tennessee High will start this possession in plus territory.
Hey. And coming up in the fourth quarter, the Eddie's Trophy Player of the Game. And we'll name that. We always do the home team tonight. Of course, the Vikings. So stay tuned with us as we will name that Eddie's Trophy Player of the Game.
First down snap. Shovel pass. Cooper Boer spins free and maybe picks up a yard. Interesting play design there.
Yeah, Chris, that's another example of how that high snap just sort of tore up the timing of that play.
Vikings trying to get in the end zone again and widen this lead. This is Carter Smith who busts loose into the secondary, and boy, will he lay a lick.
You know, and that's one of the things, Chris, that I like so much about this Vikings offense is how they just rotate these backs. It might be Plumbar, it might be Stonecker, it might be Smith, but having fresh tailbacks in this game makes a big difference. And when Coach Holt and us talked this week, he talked about a lot of what he does is just simply for freshness. Parker Road on the far side.
Smith again leaps over the line. I'll tell you, when you can go to Carter Smith late in the ball game with fresh legs, that is a huge difference for this Vikings team.
You know, the impressive thing for these Vikings is every single tailback averages over 4 yards per carry. That's going to win you some ball games.
Second down and 7. Viking offense on the move. Remember, this drive started in Abingdon territory. Flip out Cooper Boer. Stays on his feet momentarily before he's hit.
Chris, that was so close to being broken for a big game. We've seen that a couple times tonight. We're just shoestring tackles. We got a man down for the Falcons as we try to see if we can find the number right now. And that's Aiden Woods. And I can tell you, for the Falcons, you don't want to see that young man down. Now, this very much looks like a cramp. The game time temperatures tonight were still around 80 degrees, even though we're getting ready to roll over until October. And he seems to be okay.
Big Aiden Woods.
Chris, is there another word for big?
Well, he's 6'5", 280. He's 4.2 GPA, so that checks out as well.
4.2.
And he's quite a baseball player as well, so he's a little bit of do everything for this Abingdon team. And
you know, I've not seen him play, but I bet he's a power hitter. How much you want to bet, Chris?
I've seen him play, and I can confirm. I'll tell you, Abingdon has got an excellent baseball program. They won 100 straight games in their conference.
Wow.
Yeah. Very talented. Carter Smith on the give on third down. And it's a first down for Smith, who continues to impress.
And we just see some athletic ability out of Smith as he's able to hurdle several defenders right there, and even his own teammate. He's done that several plays. Good vision by that young man. You know, a little early, I don't want to say anything, but I just sort of feel the momentum of this game just shifting towards the Vikings right now.
You mentioned earlier, Ron, Abingdon was kind of leaning on Tennessee High in the first half. It feels the opposite here so far in this third quarter. Richardson keeps. Still on his feet and brought down by his jersey there as Daniel Blackman held on for dear life.
Yeah, go ahead. You see that beautiful drone shot right here. And watch that run. As he just kind of breaks right through here and is able to find some yardage.
Back underway as Smith has another carry, and he'll set up 3rd and short. Here comes that big package with Knox Kazee coming in here on 3rd and short. They call this package the hard times package.
Yeah, we heard that term this week.
And they use Kazee as a north-south runner. They got Music in there as a blocker, Fagans at H-back, Cooper Boer in at running back. And here he goes. Kazee has the first down, has more, and is tackled inside the 5. 1st and goal for Tennessee High.
And look right here as they go jumbo right here, and the push as they're able to get that first down.
So Kazee will stay in there on 1st and goal as he tries to get another touchdown. This time it's a give to Cooper Boer, and he's just shy of the end zone.
Able to hurdle yet again another man. This time he just sort of gets suplexed down to the ground. You know, Chris, this just about feels like a statement drive by these Vikings.
Kazee under center here. Pushes forward and knocks Kazee in for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, and the Vikings have a little breathing room here in the 3rd.
Great job up front right there by those men. Fegans, Miller, some more. Allison, just a push. And you said it just a moment ago. Tennessee High goes up 18-7. You said it just a moment ago. We're just starting to see this line just starting to maybe wear down this defensive front for the Falcons.
Vikings will try to go for the extra point here. And a bad snap again. This is Richardson with nowhere to go.
He's got a man open.
Oh, he's going to throw it. My goodness. Barron Harkleroad. Just find yourself open, why don't you? Unbelievable. How many times do you see a botched extra point result in a completed pass?
It's just so smart. 2 players right there. Harkleroad stays with that play, gets that hand up, lets his quarterback know. Richardson just no.
All right, so here's a look from high above. Richardson with nowhere to go. I thought he might just leak back out and try to run it right, but look at Harkleroad right here, right around the 7. Just like they drew it up.
Yep.
20-7 Vikings.
Dishner with the kick right here.
There's Dillo. He can change the scoreboard in a hurry, but Cannon Stallnaker wraps him up.
Just great open field tackle right there by Stallnaker. And Chris, these Vikings are starting to feel it.
7-6 our score at halftime. Tennessee High has rattled off 14 straight points here in the 3rd quarter. This feels a lot more like what Coach Holt was hoping for in the 1st quarter.
Yes.
One of your keys was to start fast. It got a little bit delayed, but now the Vikings playing with pulse.
Well, they've done a much better job, particularly on that last time the Falcons had the ball, as far as gap controls and just showing some patience.
Tennessee High has bottled up that running game in the second half. There was a lot of room on plays just like that in the first, but not so much now. And that likely will be the final play here. See if Abingdon gets it off in time. Just 5 seconds on the game clock. They might. And they will not.
We'll go ahead and throw it down to the sideline now.
We're here with Danielle Parker, who's the band booster here at Tennessee High, and I know the band's got a lot of things coming up, and actually Music in the Castle is next week, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It is. So next Saturday, October the 4th, we have 21 bands coming. It's our 73rd annual festival where it's a wonderful opportunity for the kids to showcase their talent. It's not like a halftime show where there's people moving around. The focus is entirely on the participants, and they are competing for scores. So we are looking forward to hosting 21 bands, plus our band, the Mighty Viking Band, will be here in exhibition form. We do not compete. And then after that, ETSU's Marching Bucks will be here. And we have a lot of alumni from Tennessee High that's in the Marching Bucks, so it's always fun to see them come back and perform. It's going to be an exciting event. We have reserved seating, reserved parking. We have a lot of tickets available, tickets at the gate, $10 to get in, $5 for students, and 5 years under are free. So we would love for you to come out if you have any type of interest in learning about the marching band. We love it.
Yeah, well, that's such an awesome event. It's a great way to get all the bands together. So, and I know you guys also have a trip planned in Washington, D.C. So can you tell us about what you guys are going to be doing there?
Yes. So we were invited to participate in the National Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. Over Memorial Day. It is the 250th celebration of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Big event. We get to march down Constitution Avenue, and we will get to go to the Symphony on the Lawn on Sunday night at the Capitol, and go to see the Smithsonian Museums and all the festivals and things like that. We'll go to the Arlington National Cemetery. We'll get to do all of the exhibits and the statues and memorials. So it's a big trip. We have 104 signed up to go. It's big trips, cost big money. So we are still looking for sponsors and donors. And if anybody wants to reach out about that, we are a 501c3, and I would love to have a conversation.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming down here with us today, and we're going to send it back to the boys.
Thank you, Hope. 3rd down and 8 after a incompletion there. You saw to Judge Dillo.
Yeah, there's just some miscommunication right there. Or Dillo, just quarterback for Falcons, just tried to rush at. And we talked about the Vikings being out of rhythm. This Falcons team very much offensively looks out of rhythm right now.
Wellenhofer launches downfield and incomplete. That was Summit trying to track it down.
That's a very tough throw right there, that young man. Almost completed. Gave his receiver a shot.
And this is where it gets dangerous for Abingdon, right, with Wellenhofer. We've kind of seen they don't really want to put it in the air with their current situation.
Yep.
But that throw is almost right on the money.
Yeah, Chris, if he'd have been able to just drag his feet, that would have been an exceptional reception and throw right there. Vikings getting ready to get the ball back right here. They're getting ready to, they're just a feeling right now, Chris, is they're trying.
Oh, punt over the kicker's head, and he kicks it out of bounds for the safety.
I know this is going to be a weird statement. That's a pretty smart play right there by the kicker.
Heads up play by Molinari. Here's another look. We've seen some high snaps in the game, and rather than just fall on it, hey, that's 2 points versus probably 7 right there. That's a 16-0 run for Tennessee High here in the second half.
The other thing about that play, as smart as it was, is it keeps it a keeps it a 2-possession game.
And you know, Tennessee High was going to get the ball anyways on the punt, so and probably in just as good a field position. So Abingdon still in this ball game here in the 4th quarter, but they're going to need a stop quickly.
This is where the benefit of all those quality running backs that the Vikings have comes into play right now.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise. I mean, overall, Tennessee High's got nearly 1,200 students. Abingdon has, I think, 870 at last look, and so Tennessee High does have more depth, it would seem. You're talking about a 5A school on the Tennessee side, and Abingdon is a 3A school. It's kind of unique because Abingdon is 3A, but they play in a 2A, well, it's really a 2D region in the Mountain 7. So I mentioned earlier they had 100 straight baseball wins in their conference. They are playing lower competition, but I don't care who you're playing. Winning 100 baseball games in a row is
That's just
insane.
impressive.
Look at that kick from Soline.
Great kick. Look at that catch.
Drives Harkleroad back now. Did he outkick his coverage?
Good
Harkleroad looking for room. Oh my, he just about broke that one.
Boetzman right there with a key block right there. Harkleroad's able to pick up some additional yardage. And gotta love Plumbar, by the way, getting out there and blocking some people. Blocking multiple people, Chris.
So Tennessee High with great field position, 15-point lead. Richardson, stop and go. Harkleroad, the target. And a fight for it, but falls incomplete. Felt like Tennessee High was trying to go with the dagger there.
Yeah, I kind of anticipated them, as well as they've been running the football, to continue to run. But I think it's a good call right there by Coach Holt. You've got the momentum on your side. Why not just put your foot on their throats right here? I think Richardson would like to have that one back.
Handoff Plumbar as he leaps forward.
And that right there is how you turn a second and long to a third and short.
3rd and 2 as Plumbar finds his way into Abingdon territory.
You know, one thing we knew about this Falcons team going into this game is that because of their youth, because of all they lost, they don't have a whole lot of depth right now. And I think we're starting to see that here, Chris.
Price out far wide to the left as Plumbar looks to break one. Bounces left. There he goes. Inside the 30, and he darts out of bounds. The dangerous Elijah Plumbar.
Hey, we talked about Cooper Boer out here running the football real well. The other thing he does is he sets the edge right here with a quality block. We'll watch this play unravel right here. We were able to set that edge as he's able to get additional yardage and turn that ball up the field.
Vikings looking for another score. They have dominated the second half. Richardson fires and nearly intercepted. That was Griffin King in the area, but couldn't corral it.
Yeah, we talking to Coach Emberger. He's really high on Griffin King, just an athletic kid that likes to hit. Very good in coverage. And regardless of the, wow, it was almost picked. Regardless of the score tonight, you know, you tip your hat to the Falcons. They've brought a physicality tonight to this game and have been able to put consistent pressure on the quarterback.
High snap, it's Plumbar again. Dances past the 20 and continues to keep those feet moving.
Yeah, real close to the first down right here. I think he's going to be just a little bit short, Chris. Maybe just about a yard right here.
You can tell that this Tennessee High team missed Plumbar, and I'm not so sure that he's at full strength yet coming back from that injury. He's just tough to bring down.
Yeah, and every carry you see from him, he's starting to get a little bit quicker, starting to feel better. And one thing I appreciate about him too, Chris, is he's blocked well tonight.
3rd and short. Plumbar breaks free. Elijah Plumbar to the end zone, and the Vikings can feel it here in the 4th. back, Elijah Plumbar, his first game back inside the Stone Castle this season. Had over 850 yards last year. Missed the first 3 games of the season coming back from injury, but he has been excellent since his return. Dishner's extra point is good.
Kick out block right here by Miller and Cobain, I believe. I'm looking at my lineman, and this opens up huge and is able to just take it into the end zone right here.
Great look from our overhead camera. Thank you to United Southeast Federal Credit Union for sponsoring our replays throughout the season. And not many more pretty than that if you're a Vikings fan, as Tennessee High has rattled off 23 straight points. What a response coming out of the half. I'm not sure what Coach Holt said to the guys at halftime, but it has worked.
Well, you know, I think defensively we talked about it a little bit, creating more pressure, gap control that they didn't have in the first half. We've seen much better gap control. And when you've got a team that's coming out of a quarterback under center, you just have to be patient on the edges. And the defensive ends right now for the Vikings have done a much better job with that as well.
Kickoff down the field as it bounces off of Dillo. Little bait there by Dillo. He was almost playing the let me let you get close and then I'll run by you.
And then just for a split second, that sideline looked like it was going to open up.
It did. Dillo kind of slow there. Feel your pain, brother. So at halftime, I was down on the field. I was talking to Coach Enzer about the Classic, and I turned around after my interview and saw that the game was happening, and I was like, uh-oh, I got to get back up to the booth. So I took off running, and the turf was a little more wet than I thought it was. And when I went to jump up onto the wall, I slipped and slid into the wall. So, yeah, big hit in the backfield here as Khalil Honaker was all over that play. With that said, I think I have a Stone Castle indention. I'm not going to put it on the air, though. I'm not. I'm going to spare you that. But, yeah, so I've got like a Stone Castle indention in my leg right now. And shout out to Mason for coming up and getting me fixed up. He had to cut the bottom of my pants up to get to the wound.
Good pair of pants too, man.
It's, you know, they're a staple for me. And my birthday was just last week, as you know.
Yep.
So, you know, like now I'm going to have to go 51 more weeks without a pair of pants. You know what I'm saying? Another tackle in the backfield as Thompson wrestled down by Preston Fagans.
Well, I can tell you do worship at Central Christian. They're not going to appreciate you being on the stage without a pair of pants. So you're going to figure something out, man.
I have one other pair, Ron.
Okay.
One other. Fagans right in the gap. And, you know, we mentioned that Abingdon went to sort of a different offense to start this game. Doesn't it kind of feel like here in the second half, Tennessee High's kind of figured it out a little bit? It might have caught them off guard in the first half, but they have definitely answered the call here as it's 3rd down and 26. Here's a throw to Woods, complete across the 20, but they needed quite a ways. It is going to be 4th down and about 7, but here you got to go for this down 22, I would say.
You know, UNC might want to consider keeping him at tight end.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
He looks pretty good.
Nice little pass there, too. He's able to float it over the head of going music right there.
Hey, if nothing else for Woods, as Abingdon's lined up to punt the ball here. Remember the last time it went over the punter's head for a safety. But if nothing else, even if Woods' future is on the line, but can't you see him splitting out on that little dump play in the end zone because he's got great hands?
Oh, yeah.
He'll be a threat for that.
That's that tackle-eligible play that you see a lot at the college level, yeah, for sure.
Ooh, another high snap. We're going to do it again? Kick. Oh, he didn't get it. And Honaker falls on it in the end zone for a touchdown. touchdown.
And the floodgates have just opened for the Vikings. And Chris, this on top of everything else, this may just be a game of bad snaps. And we've seen our share tonight.
Wow. Well, I think it was the right idea again for Molinari, but
he missed times to bounce.
He kicked it back in.
He sure did. Helped the back of his leg when he missed it.
Khalil Honaker, the beneficiary. And do your dance, Khalil.
You know what? That may be the easiest touchdown Honaker ever gets in his life.
My, oh my. 35-7, extra point, up and good. And the Vikings have now scored 30 unanswered points here in the second half. We will take a timeout, and we'll have the final 7 minutes coming up right after this. You're watching Gridiron Game Day on BTES Power 7.
The places we call work and home are starting to look more and more alike. When you could live and work anywhere, why not make it somewhere extraordinary? Where the air is fresher, your paycheck goes further, and at up to 10 gigabits per second, the internet is some of the fastest in the country. Whether you need to be connected or get reconnected, Bristol is ready. Start your next chapter at bristolisready.com.
Welcome back to the Stone Castle. If you left at halftime when it was 7-6, you might be surprised to learn that it is now 36-7 Tennessee High, as the student section all decked out in pink is loving it.
You left at halftime in a 7-6 game and you're a Vikings fan. Shame on you.
That's true. Dishner to kick off. Here's Dillo again. Always a threat, but Tennessee High's done a nice job bottling him up tonight.
I believe that was, yeah, Jackson Reed.
It'd be hard to watch Abingdon and not circle number 3. Talk about another good baseball player in that Abingdon program. Judge Dillo also excellent on the baseball field, but Tennessee High has kind of made him a focal point, I think, of their plan defensively on special teams. They've been kicking it to him, but they've done a nice job not letting him get loose.
As I know, we talked to Coach about Reed this week and the player that he's turned into.
A few jumps here. Honaker jumped. He's saying he thinks it's on me, but I thought the quarterback might have moved too. Which number 2 is this going to be on here? Let's see. And I think that might be the conversation they're having right now. Who's the guilty party first? Any good lip readers out there?
No. Not that good.
Well, at least he pointed for us, right? They call that
a
on
little bit easier.
Honaker. See, 2 and 2. See that little jump?
Oh, now
See,
that should have been, yes, that's on the
what I
Falcons.
saw.
Good catch right there, Chris. As we're under 7 minutes here.
Willenhofer looks to throw. Flips to Woods. Fagans and Woods in the area. 2 mammoths.
Yeah, that's a matchup right there.
But Woods has about 50 pounds on Fagans. At least from how it's listed.
I don't think that matters to Fagans.
No, he's not a guy that tends to back down. Handoff Tyke Thompson, and there's just been nowhere to go in this second half.
Yep.
I mean, Tennessee High has had talk about adjustments. It's not just that they're playing more inspired. They've cleaned it up, and it may have just taken time to get used to what Abingdon was going to throw at them.
Fagans has just been so active tonight, Chris. I mean, last year all-region player. I already talked about that 4.9 40 out of him. You know, as a Mike linebacker, lots of time he has containment, but has just played so, oh, boys.
Mistimed.
Retried it, didn't he?
Seen some of those plays over the years.
Yeah, if you remember, boy, Troy Polamalu was really good at that.
The timing, the snap, jumping over and tackling the quarterback. Now, granted, he's in shotgun, but still, Reed does a pretty good job timing that.
Can't quite put the brakes on, though, can he?
Wellenhofer with time. And an interception. Give it to Baron Harkleroad. And look out. He's trying to run it back. Near side. And finally ducks out of bounds around the 25-yard line. Baron Harkleroad had the touchdown earlier and now grabs an interception on the defensive side.
Yeah, Jeff Taylor there for the Falcons. Able to push him out of bounds. Otherwise, that's a score for Harkleroad. And you sort of felt that coming tonight.
Another peek at it. This one was just kind of lobbed up for anybody, and Harkleroad went and got it. Stallnaker, the new back in the game, as we've likely seen the last of Plumbar. And Stallnaker, with those fresh legs, gets it down to the 15.
You know, when folks get their newspapers in the morning or turn online and they see this score, they're not going to believe what it was at the half.
It's really impressive. This is what we kind of expected Tennessee High to do in this second half. Maybe throughout the whole game. Just a bit of a slow start again. I'm sure that'll be on Coach Holt's list coming into next week.
Yes, it most certainly will.
Stallnaker down inside the 10. Speaking of David Crockett, who we will see here next week, they are currently trailing Gate City 47-0.
A very physical Gate City team.
I feel like we got in early on Gate City. We watched them against Westridge in a scrimmage, and I'll be honest, when I watched Gate City and Westridge scrimmage, because Gate City is a Class II school in Virginia, I thought, oh boy, Westridge may have a long year. Turns out Gate City's just really good, as is Westridge. Stallnaker down towards the 5. We are down to the 4-minute mark here in the fourth quarter.
Chris, I will tell you that Dobbins Bennett's up now on Westridge 38-7. Kind of saw that coming last week. Levi Chappell for DB had 4 touchdowns. It's a dangerous offense for those Indians.
I still think the most shocking result is that Jeff County Science Hill scored. I mean, we saw that Science Hill team here, and they looked really good.
Chris, I'm trying to get a score update on that Sullivan East game.
Yeah, be sure to look out for that. Here's Kazee in the game again. Handoff, Cooper Boer reaches across the goal line, and a touchdown for the senior, Cooper Boer.
He was a little slow to get up there. Seems to be shaking up. Maybe just got the air knocked out of him.
They have been trying to get him a touchdown. He had that fumble return touchdown against Westridge early in the season, but they finally get him an offensive touchdown.
Good kick out block right there by Fegans. And boy, we've talked about him a lot tonight.
Getting to the point here where Tennessee High is just you get this late in the game, you try to get several guys into the end zone, and they did exactly that with Cooper Boer.
Not that it matters much, but the last 3:20, we're going to have a continuous clock now. Just to throw that out there.
And finally got there. Did not think we would end up talking about a running score after that first half.
No. Yeah, our player of game tonight, Plumbar, which I think we talked about his yardage. What did he have tonight, Chris?
So
112?
Yeah, 15 carries, 112 yards, and a score for Elijah Plumbar. That's his first 100-yard rushing game of the season. Getting his legs back under him just in time for some important region games in these next 2 weeks.
Just getting him back is just huge. You know, I don't think we're going to see a 25, 35-yard carry out of Plumbar game. I just don't see that coming because you got too many weapons, too many backs to try to get in. but certainly 20 carries a game, and what he brings, we talked about offensively, what he brings, but defensively as well.
(43-7). Does that score sound familiar, Ron?
Yes, it does.
Dillo on the kickoff. Still cannot find any room. Last week, Tennessee High beat Virginia High 43-7.
Yep.
And we're going to see it right here with the Tennessee High schedule. We may end up with that same score here tonight. 3 losses to start off the season, but now 3 in a row for Tennessee High. And boy, it really cranks up these last 4 games for Tennessee High, all region games which determine a potential playoff seed. And maybe a home playoff game for this bunch.
You know, right now through their games, through 5 games, they were averaging 17 points per game. That's going to go down yet again to probably about 14 or 15 points per game.
Thompson still carrying the football for Abingdon. A chance to kind of talk a little bit about what's coming up for Abingdon. And, you know, this is their 3rd straight loss. Interesting game they've got next week. Johnson County for Abingdon, coming back to the Tennessee side. Then they'll have a bye week.
That's what you call taking the air out of the ball right there, Johnson County and this team.
Yep, a lot of running the ball based on the current makeup of these teams. But Abingdon certainly, after that Johnson County game, they got that bye week. That's going to be a chance for them to kind of maybe reload and figure out what they want to do. We thought we might see Dillo at quarterback in this game. He has not taken a snap there, as a screen pass complete there to Ollie Summit.
You know, Chris, one of the impressions I take from this game, when we talk to Coach Holt, I guarantee you one of the first or second things he's going to talk about is the slow start he had tonight. Because good as this looks tonight, they've got some teams, including a particular team clad in purple, coming up on their schedule, and they're not going to be able to start slow against them. Now, when they're clicking like they have in this second half, hey, I think they can compete with anybody. But you've got to play 4 quarters of football.
If Tennessee High plays 4 quarters like we've seen them play in this last half, then yes. And I think that's what we saw against Science Hill, to be honest with you.
Yes, a complete game.
3rd and 8. Wellenhofer does find Summit.
Wow. Summit's on the ground.
Down under a minute to go. And a timeout. Oh, well, we have an injury, looks like, as Summit, as you mentioned, is still slow to get up. Now, let's talk about our schedule coming up. Believe it or not, this is our 6th game already this year. Boy, has it flown by. Next week, back here in the Castle for the next 2 in those very important region games. And then on October 17th, back at Westridge, where we will have a chance to do another region game. In fact, all of our games are region games from next week on out. Westridge and Morristown East. Look, with the way things have gone, I think we kind of said it would be a foregone conclusion. Westridge is going to be a playoff team, and they still very well may be.
Yes.
But that game against Morristown East, there's only 5 teams in that region, and one of the teams is getting left home, and Morristown East is kind of towards the bottom. They're playing Mo West tonight. So last score I saw, 10-0 Mo West over Mo East. So that game will be huge for Morristown East if they want any shot at getting to the playoffs.
Let's talk about just one more game, too, particularly if Sullivan East can hold on to that lead as we're still looking for a score. If they can get a conference win, just one, then all of a sudden things open up for the Patriots.
Here's a complete pass to Dillo. See how many Vikings it takes. He's a big guy.
And you know, Chris, that's one of the things you really have to admire about this Vikings team. Well coached, they just pursue the football so very well, and you see that right there on that play.
The most recent score I saw is 22-14.
That's the last one I saw,
Sullivan
too.
East at halftime. Now their game, I think, is, now remember, their games start at 7:30 because all their conference games start at 7:30, so they're well behind us. Final seconds. Wellenhofer flips it out. That is incomplete, and that will do it. Tennessee High, a dominant second half performance, down 7-6 at halftime. Come back to win this one, 43-7, thanks to a special effort on the defensive side. No points given up in the second half. special teams miscues by Abingdon led to more points, and the offense got going as well.
Yeah, and we talked about it. It's certainly not the cleanest game we've seen, Chris. A number of bad snaps that just sort of helped shape the direction of this game. But overall, I know Coach Holt's not going to be happy in that first half, but you take the effort that you see and the adjustments from the Vikings in that second half, and you move on.
All right, 43-7, the final. Vikings win their third straight in a row. We will take a timeout, and we'll be back with even more here from the Stone Castle on Gridiron Game Day.
Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services is your hometown provider of electric, internet, telephone, and cable television services. With our robust fiber optic network, we offer internet speeds of 10 gigabits per second to every home and business in our service area. Our mission is to enrich our community while striving to make tomorrow better than today. BTES, your trusted resource for energy and connectivity.
Back here at the Stone Castle, before we get to talk to Coach, we want to throw it to our segment, the Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week. Hope caught up with our student earlier this week.
I'm with this week's Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week, Bree Adams. Bree, tell us a little bit about what you're involved in here at Tennessee High.
Well, I'm part of the volleyball team. I'm part of NHS and Beta Club, Anchor Club, and Student Council.
So you said you're on the volleyball team. Can you tell us a little bit about how that season is going?
We've had a pretty good season so far. We actually have senior night coming up, so that's our last regular season game. And then we move on to districts, which we're hoping to advance further than that.
Awesome. So you also mentioned that you're in Anchor Club. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and what you guys do?
Yes, it's like a big sisterhood almost, and we actually are sponsoring the Pink Out game, and we do a lot of activities like powder puff and things like that.
Oh, well, that's so fun. So I know that you're a senior this year. Can you tell us a little bit about what your plans are after high school?
Yes, I'm hoping to go to UT Knoxville and major in interior architecture.
Awesome. Well, I know you'll do great things in the future.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking a little bit of time with me here today. And congratulations on being this week's Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week.
All right, congrats to Bree Adams on being the Burke Powers and Hardy Student of the Week. And I believe Hope has tracked down Coach Holt on the field.
So we're here with Coach Holt right now, and congratulations on the win. And I just kind of wanted to ask you what your thoughts on the game were.
Hey, we kind of started a little slow, but we knew that that was a dangerous team coming in. They just come off a loss. They had some injuries, and I've coached with a bunch of those guys on staff when I was at Abingdon, and we knew they were going to have a great plan, and they were going to be physical, and we saw it in the first half, that's for sure. But we kind of got both feet in the ground, made some adjustments. That's great on the kids to pick up the adjustments, the coaching staff to make it, and we kind of settled in there in the second half.
Yeah, awesome. So I know that Plumbar, he had a really good game, and he was also named the player of the game as well. So what do you think about his performance?
Super proud of him. He's coming off a major knee injury last year, and this is really only about his third game back, and he's getting better and better. He hadn't seen live fire exercises until, about week 4 for us. So he's finally getting that under his belt. He's going to pick it back up. He's going to see what he needs to see. But we love that kid to death. He battled himself all offseason in rehab, getting that knee ready, and he's back for us, and we're super happy.
Awesome. And going back to halftime a little bit, what did that conversation look like in the locker room to kind of get the team back in the game?
And we told them we've been in this situation before. This is the stuff we prepare for in June and July when we're out here doing gut checks and we're busting our tails in the weight room and sprinting. That right there is exactly why. Again, it goes to the coaching staff, both sides of the ball. They made great adjustments. The kids focused. They took the adjustments. They did what they're supposed to do, and we started to get a little bit of a roll there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to us for a second, and congratulations again on the win. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Hope. And Coach Holt, very happy coach down there on the sidelines. As you see, the students have spilled onto the field in their pink. There's our player of the game, Elijah Plumbar, as well. And it's time to revisit how this one went as Tennessee High. A slow start, as Coach Holt mentioned, and Abingdon got on the board first with kind of a funky offensive formation that might have thrown Tennessee High for a loop.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of teams in the spread anymore to kind of go under center. The Vikings had to adjust, and I think they did well in the second half.
Little reverse here. Nice play design on, that was 4th and goal. And Harkle Road found the end zone. Preston Fagans busts loose for a touchdown catch.
Good night by that young man tonight.
Knox Kazee gets in the end zone. And then how about this fun play? A botched extra point going nowhere, going nowhere. Hey, I know that guy. It's Harkle Road.
Don't give up on the play. We see that out of Harkle Road.
And Plumbar, our player of the game, Eddie's Trophy's player of the game, able to sneak in the end zone there. And how about one more? Give it to the senior Cooper Boer getting into the end zone.
Yeah, he had some big runs tonight. 100 yards, nearly 100 yards for the Vikings in the second half as they lean on that run game.
Excellent performance by the Vikings, and we also had a defensive touchdown with Khalil Honaker falling on one in the end zone. There was a safety as well. Second straight week, the Vikings have a safety, so they are playing really good football right now. Let's take a look at the final numbers. As look, you look at the total yards in this game, and you don't think it was a 43-7 game, but the Vikings were opportunistic in the second half, thanks to some miscues by the Falcons, and they really turned it on in that second half.
Yeah, and you know, Chris, we can talk about that, and that's very true. But the thing to take away from that is good teams take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves, and the Vikings did that tonight.
The Vikings have now won 3 straight games. They're now 3-3 on the season, and always a good win here against a team that's close by. A nice crowd in the stands tonight from Abingdon, but really, it really starts to turn up next week. I mean, you certainly play to win this game, don't get me wrong, but next week has a little bit more importance.
Yeah, these games just do that. I mean, they take on a greater level of importance. You know you've got to pick up your play, and we'll see how it all unravels next week as Crockett comes to town.
So Tennessee High and Crockett next week as the Vikings win this one 43-7. Tonight's game airs again tomorrow at 11 o'clock and all week long on BTES Power 7. And be sure to stream it on our YouTube page at BTES Videos. Also, go ahead and subscribe while you're there. For myself, Chris Mangrum, my co-host Ron Marvel, and the entire Power 7 team, thanks for watching. This has been a presentation of BTES, your trusted resource for energy and connectivity. Have a good night, everybody.